Hey, what is going on, you guys? Who's ready to talk about the LMT? We're going to get this program started in just a little bit. I'll go ahead, and those joining late, we'll go ahead and put in the description a time code when you can find out when this video starts. Save you from waiting through all this intro while we get everything set up. We'll wait for people to join us and start getting some of the questions going, comments about the LMT in the chat. I know a lot of them are out there. They've been selling like crazy. We want to hear what you think about it. Trey Winslow asks, have I hooked the sled up to the LMT yet? I haven't hooked the sled up to anything yet. It's been busy, man. Hopefully this weekend. What's going on? Michael Kearney, Kevin Mendez, Brandon Vale, DSC 1320, Jeff Kraus, RC Fun, Tim Needs a Hobby, SFL, RC24. Lots of you guys jumping here. Some channel, RC Lee, Cody Vandenberg. Hey, Cody, what's going on, man? Vonnie Inzer. I've got a lot of stuff, you guys, to peep you as well. Show you a few things that we've got. I'm not sure how we're going to do all this yet. There's a lot that we can do, and I think we'll just figure it out as we go. I kind of like roll with the punches. Michael Kearney, JMRC, Mo's Garage, Art RC. There's me in there. CCXRC, Venom, G84, Troy's Hobby, Chris Wood, Deontay Heave, J.O., Chris Giangelo. Man, everybody, so many people. Kevin Gibbs, Shen RC, Josh Williams. All right, let's get this thing moving.
Silhouetted images and industry teasers are finding their way into our homes and invading our minds. Their calculated information is delivered to feed our addiction for radio-controlled frequencies. It's an RC conspiracy. But we are on your side, cracking the RC code. Because the truth is out there. Welcome to the RC Conspiracies podcast. Get your decoder rings ready. And put on those tinfoil hats, because your fearless leader is here. Please welcome your host, the lead RC conspiracist, Tony Cece. Tony Cece. Welcome to the RC Conspiracies podcast.
Hey, what is going on, you guys? Welcome to another RC Conspiracies podcast. We're going to be posting this one up on the podcast because we're going to be hearing from you guys what you like about the LMT. We're going to talk about that. We're going to show you some of the new stuff and the different products you can get for your LMT currently. And I'm sure there's more than everything that I've grabbed, but I have a few on my desk over here. At some point, we'll jump over there, talk about some of that stuff, and then come back. You can see the Treel axle sitting there in that basically LMT stand that JER RC has already made stands that fit with these axles, and they work pretty awesome. So got that already on there. Just got a package from him today with my chassis in it that I'd sent him. He asked for it, and it was broken, and I said, sure, I'll send it to you. So yeah, he took it apart, started making some stuff for it, and because of that, we've got some things already here that we'll show you guys. And that, hey, check it out. All right, JORC already. Ding, a bag of Kingpins on me. That's awesome, man. That'll help with the Kingpins I do have on order. I think I ordered 3 bags of them, maybe 4. I don't know. We'll see how it changes when they are in these trio axles as well. I'll also have a chance to maybe take mine apart and see what may have caused mine to do its thing where they're falling out. Because I don't know that everybody's having that issue. The people I talked to that have them already kind of seem confused as to me losing them. I think it might be the flipping and the spinning and all of that kind of stuff. We go a little bit overboard. So, yes, we have lots of LMT upgrades to show you guys that are already here, actually. So that's pretty cool. So Kevin Gibbs says, bring on the knowledge. If you guys actually want to see the real knowledge, go and check out the Clodbusted channel where he compares his LMT to his real monster truck that he's building and talks about how they're the same and some of the cool things about it. Adjustability, what it does when you actually adjust your upper links and you bring them closer to the lower links and all of that, like anti-squat and whatever. It's pretty cool. So a lot of you guys have already been commenting. I'm going to go back a little bit. I know Shen RC, Steve has a video. He got busted at his local park. I saw that post. I've been seeing a ton of them on Instagram. So I'm seeing mixed reviews, and that's kind of why I wanted to have this little live stream of sorts, is to kind of talk about that. We'll talk about some of the things we can do to address those concerns that people may have. And I'm doing this solely as a hobbyist, and I'm not paid by Losi to do any of this stuff. I'm not an employee of Horizon Hobby. I have no contract signed with them, except when they were first out, I had an NDA, which just meant I couldn't disclose it, but I'm under no contract to say good or bad or any of that about it. You know, I've pointed out axle brakes, I've pointed out Kingpins that I've had the issue with, and we've tried to solutions for those, which is a good thing, because that's kind of what we're all here to do, is help each other make the product better. We get an awesome product, you know, but we want to push them beyond the limits of most things that are plastic, and that means we have to find some kind of workaround. Josh Williams says, Hobbytown Virginia, what's up? So apparently Hobbytown Virginia is in the house. There they are. They've been selling them like crazy. They got a whole second batch of them in. I'm sure that that's probably gone by now, I would guess. I don't know. If not, get in there tomorrow. Get them while you can. They are the hot ticket right now, even people that aren't looking to race them. They're just a fun RC all around, in my opinion. And everybody's got their own, I can tell you that much. I know I'm no longer a part of any of the LMT groups on Facebook. I couldn't deal with them. Like, we were just given this awesome truck, and it's like we're biting the hand that feeds us. Coming from a hobbyist again, I'm not an employee of theirs. So as somebody that just wants this and has been asking for Traxxas or anybody to make this truck, we get it, and all we do is we bite the hand that feeds us. And so I'm like, I don't even want to read this stuff. Like, you know, some of them are saying that we made it sound like it as people that had them ahead of time, influencers, overblew what these trucks were. And I'm like, man, I spelled out everything that we were dealing with, so I don't know what they're talking about. So anyway, what's going on, Todd Cooper, NJ Bull Life? I'm way behind the comments, just so you know. Jo says the LMT FB groups are toxic. Man, I dropped out like days ago, and I apologized to one of the guys that I know runs one, and I was just like, I can't do it, man. Like, I responded to one comment, and I was just like, we showed you everything. We didn't say this was better than your race trucks. And really, it comes down to a lot of the racers for me. And I love the race scene. I love the racers. But what they want from a truck is so different than what the whole market wants from a truck. You know, like, Losi has to think about the general consumer, who's going to be probably the biggest buyer of this truck is going to be people that could care less about what rules we have in our 8 different racing leagues that all have their own sets of rules that Losi would have to try and choose from which one they want to abide by. And so it's not even that, but it's just like people breaking them in cold weather. It's like, well, we said they would break in cold weather. It happens. Any plastic breaks in cold weather. Complaints about the stickers. The stickers were addressed from the get-go. I contacted them after opening mine, gave them the chance to say, well, yours is pre-production. Basically, when I shot my video, I shot it both ways. One way saying, mine's pre-production, it's been handled. And another way saying, well, they're not black, that's for sure. But then contact them. They say, yeah, it happened. COVID, quality, whatever stuff, they were all done already. And so then you deal with a couple of things. Do you want to delay the product and people are already mad because they wanted it yesterday? Or do you just release it and then you fix it going forward? So, you can't win. And, the nicking on stuff like that, the truck is more than stickers, in my opinion. Like, I can get Bari or I can get somebody to make me stickers that have true black if that really bothers me. But it's more than stickers, right? So I'm just glad they're out. I'm glad that people are using them. And for the people I see, even on Instagram, some people complaining about it. And, I've seen some of their videos, honestly, and they crash and break all their stuff. And so they're complaining about breaking this. And I'm like, but you break all your stuff. You're like me. We break stuff. You can't say it's terrible. TrailerTrash says he pre-ordered through his shop, but it hasn't come in yet. That's a bummer. Mine did late. So the shipping thing was confusing. I'll give people that. But, I mean, we're all in this rush to get it first, which I don't understand anymore. It doesn't change the truck, and when you get it, it's going to be awesome, whether it's a couple days before or after somebody. But they said they were going to release on the 8th. They were supposed to ship so that they would arrive for people on the 8th, the same day that they would sell at the hobby shops. I think that they just got massive amounts of orders, and I don't know. I was the person that was told that. I was told that even the last week. And mine shipped, and they were supposed to arrive on Saturday, but they didn't actually come till yesterday. One of them came Saturday, and 2 came Sunday. So, and yes, people will say you got them free. I got this about something else, the Spectrum batteries. But I bought 3 of them, so I didn't get them all free. I thought enough of them that I wanted to buy some after I destroyed them to show what they could be done and let other people destroy them to show what they could do. So, yeah. So Riley Ward asks, let's get to your guys' questions. Enough of my rant opening intro. I really do want to hear what you guys have to say. Speed addictions are, I'm guessing this is Joe, but I don't know. He says he got his from Hobbytown, Virginia Beach. That is awesome, dude. And I could be wrong, but I know Joe is Virginia and he loves speed, so I'm guessing maybe that was him. And Riley Ward asks, is there going to be any different trucks coming? They haven't said. They kind of teased us with a Max D something. Is that just Max D being like, this is a great truck, but it would be better if it was mine? Just kind of being, punkish? I don't know. They had a Max D before with Axial. Potentially they could do something Max D. I know that there'd be quite a few fans that with that. TrailerTrash being one of them. But we also saw somebody, Bari, put his on the roller, and it looked pretty awesome. J.O. says, Tower says they have them in stock right now. I know that our Hobbytown Virginia Beach has been buying them and stocking them, and they're doing awesome with them. Shen says he ran at 30 degrees, no problems yet. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen your most recent videos, if you're doing flips or just kind of wheelies and that kind of stuff and jumps, the flipping is when you really run into issues because of that torque and the way that it hits if you land on one wheel. But one guy hit like a curb and another, it's a bummer. Okay, so Josh says they have 1 Gravedigger and 2 Son of a Digger and 2 rollers in stock at Virginia Beach. Let's see if we can get those gone tomorrow. Curtis D says his local hobby shop went through 8 of them the day they dropped. That's awesome. Man, I just caught up to where J.O. said that the groups are toxic. I'm so far behind. All right, so I'm going to skip down toward the bottom, guys. If I miss a question or something you said, then repost it. Hey, Brandon, what's going on? Tom Andrews says his 5,000 batteries don't fit the tray. Are they longer or are they too wide? That's interesting. JER Customs is in the house. I've got some of your stuff over on the side bench to show. Some of the axle braces, lower links, your awesome stands. You can see the son of a digger is sitting up on the stands on the right. And I got to tell you, the Clodbuster for the retro style stand you sent fits perfect, man. So Jeff, this is another thing that I have heard is the power button on the radio sticks. They're a decent radio. I honestly don't love the press in buttons for a couple reasons. I'm sure it's less likely to accidentally switch off, but it's also more likely to accidentally not turn off when you put it in your car and you've got a 35-minute drive and it beeps the whole way in the backseat because you can't reach it. I keep mine on the stock controllers because I do like them, but that is one thing you gotta remember. And if you have a sticking one, that's a bummer. I haven't tested my new ones. I have them somewhere, and I will take a look at them as we're looking at some stuff. Cloud Busted. Somebody said he's in the house. We just talked about your video. It's awesome. Chris Giangelo says he hit a brick wall. Did you break it, Chris, when you hit said brick wall? Hey, Bryce, what's going on? Yeah, there he says he hit a brick wall. I saw him doing donuts and stuff. That's cool, man. Kevin Gibbs, that's smart, man. He says he can't get the LMT till after USTE, but he did score SMT and a super clod for Christmas. It's wicked. Yeah, you definitely want to save up that money for all the awesome time at USTE. Baba Q says, hit that like button. That'd be awesome. I can't see it in this software that I run if there's likes or not. So, yeah, if you like the video, hit like. If you don't, then don't. I'm not going to force you to hit like. So what do we say? So what are people liking about it that do like it? Okay, Kyle M says he's happy with his roller and he put a foot in it. Ow, that sounds wicked. I'm curious to see how the drivetrain holds up to 4S power. Joe says I'm right. I'm finally catching up. Ish. So yes, Raquel says the Trio axles are awesome. I do want to get over there and we'll show those in close up. They are made very well, better than I expected when I ordered them. I haven't had that many Trio things. All I've had are the front links because Hot Racing stopped making the steering links for the AR60. And the Trio ones were almost exactly the same, and they work great with the Freestyle RC servo saver. So, okay. Shen says, I will say this. My clods would have been in piles of pieces for how fast and what he did to his LMT. Awesome. This is an out of left field question, but we'll answer it anyway. What's better, Max or Big Rock? Price and handling doesn't matter. Well, the lower price would be better, in my opinion, for what you get with them. But I will say that I have had a lot of 3S and 4S bashers, and the only one I have still is the big rock. Okay, so MJ Bull for Life says only weak point I found is the wheelie bar falls off. Are you talking about the LMT? I mean, I straight landed it, and Hobbytown Virginia Beach was there, witnessed how high I sent it backflip and landed straight on the wheelie bar. Now, I did crack one of the cross members, but everything I've done to mine, I've never, I mean, the wheelie bar still works on that son of a digger after everything it's been through. Ouija RC, the Trio axles look awesome. Can't tell until I actually put the innards in them, which I'm going to do not in a live video so that I can show it, but and do it in a shorter format than a live. So I'm going to kind of do a chopped up cut version of putting it together, assembling it, the fit and finish of it, but they look spectacular. We'll look at them in just a minute. Joshua Williams needs those stands. Yes, they're actually really cool. We'll show those in a minute as well. Jeff Krause says he loves the look and it has plenty of speed. Babysitting it because I don't want to mess up the body. You got to give in, man. Got to give in. Yeah, Brad Hall says, love the Reese shirt. So, tangent for a minute, podcast tangent kind of thing. I've also got a J Concepts hat on, for those that are noticing. I wanted a new flat bill. Bought it from J Concepts website. Reese RC t-shirt, bought from his website. Been catching just flack from people. I don't know what, YouTube's been nuts these days. And apparently I didn't disclose, and everybody thinks I get everything for free. And I'm like, you know, J Concept sent me these trucks. I've got one over on the bench right there, but I'm sending them back. So it's just something to show you guys. Bought the hat, bought the regulators, bought the regulator axles, you know, paying cash for all this stuff. So it's not that all this stuff is free. And I try to disclose every time when I do get something free. I did miss saying it in the Spectrum video. It's kind of obvious because they're not out yet with the G2 battery system. Did put it in the description. I said they sent it to me. I didn't say they sent it to me for free. I thought it was implied when I said they sent it to me. But in all the other things on Facebook, Instagram, I said that they'd sent it, and not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. I just love the hobby, and you know, I've been slowly changing out all my t-shirts to either other channel shirts or whatever. You know, I'm just buying shirts. In fact, shameless plug time. Sitting here, got this on my lap all this time. The Smoke and Motors shirt turned out pretty wicked. If it'll focus. Just got one of these in. I wanted to test print to see how it would look. But yeah, not trying to... The shadow up there above me is the cat. Trying to figure out why it wasn't purple right there in that spot. Anyway, I ignore it for the most part unless somebody calls to question my integrity, and I don't like that very much. But yes, Brad Hall, the Reefs RC shirt, the products I like, I do like to support them. Also as a little bit of a billboard. So I bought Losi shirts, I've bought Arma shirts, lots of different ones, Spectrum hats, and all that. Riff Raff, welcome to the dark side. Okay, this is a good question. Chris Watson, are you going to mount your body to the cage on your roller? If yes, are you going to make a video? Also, will J Concepts Renegades fit on this? So, very good question. I don't know what the cat is doing. He was going crazy for the Cricut printer the other day with the and the moving everything back and forth. So am I going to mount the body to the cage? I think I'm going to ditch the cage on the roller. I'm going to try to make that more of the race truck. I do plan with the new trucks to paint the inside of the wheels so they don't look white and huge, because they don't look scale from that inside perspective, in my opinion. And there's been a whole debate on whether they should be race allowed or not because of that, and they're not traditional and they're not like what they actually race with. And I get that argument, honestly. But I do like the wheels that do come with it. I think they handle well. They are heavier. I think there's a good trade-off when you get the trio axles of maybe switching over to the J Concepts Tributes. So you can run the Renegades if you switch to Tribute wheels, which then means you have to get the 12 millimeter hex, or Freestyle RC has basically a hex delete that you can screw right into the Tribute wheel and it'll bolt right on, and it stays within the limits of the racing and all that. So I don't think I'm going to screw a body onto that one. I think I'm going to make a sticker bomb 3.0 for that one, and I don't know what I'm going to get. I probably will end up cutting my chassis. So yeah. And if you look at these things from the side view, Matthew Hall posted a funny. I really like the look of these trucks from the side view. They don't scratch that. Oh, you bad cat. I'm all distracted now by that cat. So someone says they like the cat, the 2K dude. He's one of the coolest cats. We call him Gandalf, like Gandalf the Grey. When we got him, he was a little kitten. He had these little white hairs that came out of his ears, so it looked like an old man, kind of. I'm scrolling back up because I missed a bunch. They just jumped. So RC Amigos in the house, what's going on? Booster FPV. Oh, okay. RC says put a 555 in the crawler. So I have raw 500 to go into my LMTs. That's my choice, my servo of choice. I bought 2 of them from Josh Williams at Hobbytown. He ordered them up for me. Chris says his truck is fine. Okay, that's it. Oh, yeah, Curtis. Yeah, I forgot. I wasn't even talking about the way I dress. There was that guy, too. That was a whole separate thing. Oh, sweet. JR said he got his trio axles, too. They really do have a pretty good finish to them, I would say. Captain Flannel. Everything breaks, even the full-size Gravedigger. Break, and a lot. I missed this. WeGRC said your friend broke his off the first run, too. What broke off? Trying to keep up here. Triplicity says he wants to get an LMT and SCX-10 3.0 Gladiator. Both very good, in my opinion. Very good trucks. All right. Cranking down here. Here we go. Raquel's working on a better light connection for the LMT. That is one thing. That's another warning I give. You want to wrap the wires or something on the chassis itself. Maybe both. But get like an airline hose for a fish tank, or get nitro tubing, something like that. Run a slit in it, put the wire inside it, tape it up to the body, however you want to do it, shoe glue it, whatever. And then maybe slit one and stick it down on the chassis too. Because when you hit something, the chassis and the body kind of flex. The body flexes and hits that metal body, and it'll literally cut the wire in half. In fact, I got one here I can show you. Give me a second. fact, just cut 2 of them. Let's see right where it would have been, right where that line is here. The chassis, just cut some right off. So you just want to wrap those. And honestly, I would say, like any body, your best bet is to take it off and shoe glue it and put some drywall tape in there. It's going to make it heavier. It's already a heavy truck, but you'll thank yourself. Daniel Winning. I have not had a chance yet to try the JER custom design axle braces yet. It's been raining nonstop here. We finally got a little break. Had a lot of yard work to do, and it was too muddy. I just really didn't want to get my truck out in that mud and have to clean it down. So it should get a try this week. If not tomorrow, then the day after. In fact, I started, darn it, I didn't get the footage. I started rebuilding the backyard monster truck track today at 5 p.m. I went out, got as much done in the light as I could, time-lapsed it. And so, yeah. Shoot, I missed some stuff here. Hold on. Big thank you, man. Black Market RC. I totally missed that super chat for $15, dude. Keep up the good work, he says. You guys need to check out his stuff. That's something else coming to the channel. I mentioned in a video that things are going to be changing a little bit. Riff Raff, man, you too? Says he got his LMT Gravedigger yesterday. Also, man, you guys are awesome. Oh, you got the crooked silver stripe down the hood? Ugh. And straight. Ish. It's kind of hard to tell because the front end is pretty jacked up. I would consider that straight, though. Yeah, there's going to be the little stuff like that that happens. That's the stuff you reach out to the shops for. That's just quality control stuff that they take care of usually afterward. JER says he's got a 17 millimeter hex adapter coming soon too. And I actually have one of yours here that's actually takes the tribute adapters to, or tribute wheels up to a 17 millimeter hex. It's on the axle. We're going to look in a minute. So I do have a bunch of your stuff to show over there. Jason, how's it going, Bryce? He says, hi, it's Bryce. I've seen a couple of your comments in there, man. Thanks for joining in. Sean had a great question. I don't. So this is a great question. And he says, in your opinion, do you feel like the RC hobby has gotten pricier over the years than ever before? And I say no. And I say that with a caveat because, yes, it is getting, some things are getting more expensive, but we're getting far bigger things than we've ever had before. You know, the best thing you could look to as price comparisons for some of those things would be some of the model airplanes that are large scale and they have like $10,000 wrapped up in them. And we're getting like a 5th scale Losi 5 for like $1,300. It's crazy. So, but where it's getting lower is when I bought my first Losi 10 SCTE 2.0 ready to run, it was like almost $600. Now you can get the Tenacity, which is like that, and they're more like $430. So the price on that is actually down. The price to get a brushless car, you would be looking at like the Slash and stuff. You're looking at $400-$500 to get a brushless truck or car. Nothing was coming in even close back then. So the fact that we are getting more options, better cars. I mean, you'd have been looking at the HPI Savages and stuff like that, which were $600-$700. Now you're getting into the Arma stuff for $550. You can get the I got the Typhon 6S for like $470 when I bought it. So I don't think it's getting more expensive. In fact, I think that there are now offerings that are less expensive than ever before to get into it. So what you get in a 4-wheel drive for like the Mad Van at $220 is crazy. You were buying like Tamiya kits for like $200, and then you had to finish them out and get a radio and all that stuff. So to answer that question, I would say no. Feel free to debate me. Change my mind. But the fact that you have the Creighton 6S and the X-Max for $900, that's because we never had stuff that big before. And if you were to compare it to the 5th scale stuff, it's down in price from there even. So, and it's electric. Greg Pelant says, I caught the Facebook thread you guys were deciding factor the way y'all bash them, and they took it. They do take it. I mean, you got to be careful the colder it gets, though, and also what you're doing. So they weren't doing as many backflips like I do, where I come off of something backwards. Some of them were forward momentum, and the impacts hit differently. And so that's something to take into consideration. It may not go as big, but it's because of the way that the torque is applied upon landing. Chris Watson says he's going to try and mount to the roller. You should check out Hemi-Storm. He's doing something like that, mounting up. And so definitely look at that. But yeah, Riff Raff's RC, definitely contact them about that hood. All right. Tom Andrews says, I went through the ESC settings and found the manual only shows 11 different settings, but there are 12 settings, and number 10 is thermal protection. And for those who want to try and do the backflip to moonwalk, the first setting is where you can change from forward brake reverse to forward reverse. There's still a little bit of a delay, and you got to get that hit on the brake still in order to make that changeover or hit the reverse in your flip, and then when you get it, you should be ready much faster. It's tricky, but it's doable. I do it with the forward brake reverse, and I can still do the moonwalk if I get the right pop. It's all about getting that right hit. And that new axial that came out, by the way, looks really, really cool. Blue Dooley, I did get the limit straps figured out on the Primal, and they worked awesome. I was jumping it off the trees we cut down in the front yard. It was wicked. Brad Hall says the raw 500s are great. I have 3 so far. Yeah, man. I'm up there at 4 of them now. They're pretty sweet. 2 are still in boxes, though. I just saw it Riff Raff, man. I'm sorry. I was way behind. And even at this point, I'm 10 minutes behind on the comments. So I'm going to skip down to the bottom, and we're going to have to jump again. That long response on an earlier question already really got me behind. Yeah, Kevin Gibbs is spot on. He says the RC hobby is as expensive as you make it. A lot of great entry-level stuff out there. And entry-level is way more competent than it was even when I started 7 years ago. Cody Adams is asking if I have any CCXRC ball caps. I do not yet. I need to get the down payment down. I have to pay the initial on them, so... Trail Recordings Inc. Had Nitro Days, Traxxas Max. Any thoughts on Max alternatives? You know, if you're looking to get back in, I would look at the Big Rock. It's a great way to get back in. It's so much fun. Casey Grant, I just wish they'd have replacement parts available at release. Well, all the replacement parts I ordered are shipped, so they are available. I have axle casings coming. I've got Kingpins coming. a whole bunch of stuff coming. So there's a lot out there. Sorry. Wheelie King was Guy Moose's first hobby grade RC in 07. That's cool, man. No. Question is, will the raw 500 need a BEC to prevent the stock ESC from browning out or glitching? It should not. I was running mine on it. I think on the 130 amp, you can actually... Hold on one second. I got my manual right here. But I'm pretty sure on these ESCs, you can set your BEC. Could be wrong. I've been wrong a lot of times before, and that's why we're just going to pull out the manual and see. You do not. So you have running mode, forward with brake, forward reverse with brake, and then forward reverse. You've got drag brake, low voltage cutoff, start mode, brake force, max reverse force, initial brake force, neutral range, timing, motor rotation, lipo cells. So it does not have a BEC in it. But I haven't had any issues running it. At Fiorendo Games, I do not know where to get one that isn't on back order right now. The Servo Saver Spring. Let me quickly, and I had this set up, I just never got to it. Mention a couple things, guys. Over on While My Batteries Charge podcast, I'll probably recap some of this in a little bit shorter, kind of condensed version. Go over some of the things that people are talking about and my response to some of the things being talked about. Also, my focus is going to be more on custom builds this year and less buying everything new that comes out or financial reasons. And yeah, there's on here all the stuff you can look at for those that are asking about cars. Check out this Big Rock. I had a couple of videos of it recently. Is it good, but is it great? That's a great video to watch if you're looking for a good starting vehicle. The store I've updated, got the new Out of Control shirts. I've got the motor, smoking motor shirts, some other stuff. RC bashing is not a crime. If you're looking for some RC apparel, we've got some there for you guys. But looking at the LMT, kind of going next steps, there's stuff that's out there that's good going on. And rhdesign has some new headers and stuff that are coming out already for the LMT. So it's good to see that people are already designing for it. I know he does wheelie bars. I would love to maybe see something that looked like a more traditional shape of a wheelie bar off the back of these things. That'd be really cool. Instead of the stock one. And it kind of borrows from his wheelie bar design anyway that he had been doing with this wheel. It's very similar, but his hooks up more. I don't know if it tucked in tighter like his does, and I think it could look a little bit more scale. I really like his stuff. Freestyle RC has the LMT axle braces. These are those tribute adapters I was talking about that just basically screw in, and you don't use a hex. You actually just go right onto the pin. That's pretty awesome. Jason's been making a bunch of stuff that you can get for these. Starting with the axle braces, which we'll show you in just a minute over there. He's working on his aluminum sways work with it, but he's also working on stands, which are cool. We'll show you how those work. And then he calls them the flower pot wheel adapters that will take it up to like a 17 millimeter, which I have on one of my axles over there to show you guys working with this J Concept style adapter, then mounts over to his. It's pretty cool stuff. So we'll show you that. He's also got some chassis that are being built for it. A full custom chassis. He's calling the Pro R chassis, JMT. So it gets rid of that 3-panel and the plastic cage, and it'll be running the sideways motor and all the mounting and all that fits up with it. And it's still got the shock mount options and works with the shock system from Losi. So you can see the electronics in that are changed a little bit to the back on this one to put the weight forward and lower. That's kind of the design there, is to lower the battery tray, which still works. And yeah, so that all works in there. Just changes the layout of it to make the weight a little bit different. And then there's also a version of it that just mounts to the plates that are already in existence, which is a bolt-on chassis, calls it. But it's still the JMT for JER. But if you look at these pictures, you'll actually see it actually just bolts onto the middle part here is the actual LMT chassis, and then it normally has wings that come off it. Well, this bolts on this whole plate instead of the 2 separate wings. Gives you that either truck look or monster truck chassis style look to it. So he's got some stuff he's innovating and coming up with for it. Here you can see it on the stands, how they work. It's pretty slick. I came on here. Apparently I'm still in this Losi LMT group. I came in to see what it was, and then I saw he had his chassis mounted and sitting on stands next to his Gravedigger. So that's his roller sitting next to it. But he's got his chassis installed on it. Anyway, and then finally, the axles we'll be looking at over on the bench. You can get the from Crawford Performance Engineering now if you don't want to order them from China. He's ordered up some and we'll be having them available. So they'll be able to ship from his store in, I think it's New York. Why is it not showing? Here it is. So yeah, you can order them same price, $168. The pre-order, they're going to be arriving around the 15th. If you order them from him, then you'll be able to get them shipped from New York instead of China. So there'll be parts available through CPE to get. So I'm going to show you these. It's a less part design because these on this section and this section on the LMT are removable, and it's really like a 4-part design. This is more like 3-part for the main part, and then you got the sides. Anyway, and they're pretty lightweight for what they are. But per axle, you're looking at $168, so about $340 all in for front and rear axle. But it does come with everything you need, which I'll show you. It comes with new bearings and all that because it actually has bigger bearings. Getting back to your speed addictions, man. We'll see ya. Have a good one. I know I'm 2 minutes late saying that. I'm going to go over and look at that other stuff here. I'm going to pull up the chat on my computer or on my iPad. I'm going to walk it over there. I just remember, though, that I have my microphone charging right here, so I'm going to have to plug that in when I get over there. There might be a little popping and all that as I plug it in. So what I'm going to do is give you guys just a short, we're going to listen to that cool song again. My intro song. You can look at the cool stuff on the bench, and then we'll get over there and talk about it in, I don't know, about a minute and a half.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands, strong like a tree, down soon. Racing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon.
Alrighty. I think I got it figured out. You guys hear me? Still hear me? Should be working. I think we're good. May not be as clear and booming. But let me grab my iPad so I can follow what you guys are saying. Loud and clear. Little white noise. Yeah. Can't do anything about that. All right. So, what do we look at first? First. All right, well, first we'll look at something simple. This is from Losi. These are their 12 millimeter machined wheel hexes, and these will let you run the tribute wheels by J Concepts by just buying these for 12 bucks. Go down to a smaller hex size, start running the stuff you were running before. That's the easy way. The other option is here from JER, and you can see, go ahead and cut this open so we can show you that it has the 17 millimeter hex. It's 3D printed, and then it has two grub screws that go in and lock it on to that hex, and then you do the flower pot design thing into here through the tribute wheel onto it. So that's the other option. You can actually see it installed here already on this front axle. It was a test fit, came back to me like this. So also looking at some of the JER stuff, what you can't see here very well, this is one of my axles. This was the first one that we broke, front axle, and it has the axle braces on the back of it now. So he was test fitting these. I'd sent this axle with it, and he was able to design this, and he just glued it back together to test fit it and everything. But you can see how well these axle braces do disappear on here. It's pretty clean. He's also offering them in colors. Here's green ones if you want to make it pop a little bit with your Gravedigger on the inside. Go for that little bling. And then there is the blue for Son of a Digger. And it comes with all the hardware that you need as well to bolt them in and swap out. You can run trailing arms on these if you want to go more pro, I guess, racing style with your truck and not scale, but you just want to win races, want to have a better suspension tune. You can remove the shocks from where they are, change up their location, put them on links, get it in a little bit further from the wheel, get a little bit more action that way. So these are also available from JER. These are his versions of them. And then these are Freestyle RC axle braces. And these ones actually go on the bottom of the axles, underneath this, and they brace it that way. They tuck up real nice and tight. People have been asking me, can you run both? I don't think you'd want to, because, where's that? This one is already lifting the axle up a little bit, the lower link off, and then this would lift it even more off. And I think you're just gonna, I don't know, I guess you could. It's not, these JER ones aren't that thick right there, but you are changing the suspension geometry and you are lowering your links further, and you're lowering this even further, and it's not gonna be as clean to the axle. But I mean, it's possible. You really, I can show, I guess, here with the two stacked, it's getting pretty thick off of it. I don't know that you'd want to do that. I wouldn't want to. All right, but KC Grant is asking, is the J Concepts wheels tires better than stock setup? So they're lighter. These are a much deeper tread. They bite a lot more, and currently you get what you get. You can't change rubber compounds based on surfaces versus dirt, or what you're running in. But they're also lighter with the J Concepts ones. The nice thing about these new ones, and the whole thing about the argument, is that this bigger wheel allows it to sit in further. It changes how your steering performs, changes a whole lot of things into how they perform. So I don't think we're going to notice it that much, but there's people that don't want to see these get into the racing scene. But the weight advantage will definitely help, having a lighter tire of the J Concepts. Casey Grant is definitely going to purchase those axle braces after what happened to his axles. Raquel says she already installed her trio axles. That's awesome. I would have installed mine too. Video always slows things down. So we're going to do a video of it. And if I wasn't doing this tonight, I'd have done the video of it tonight. But everything keeps getting pushed back. All right. There we go. Wonder the confusion. Stock wheel and tires 1.3 pounds. Yeah, the other one's 10.2 ounces for the J Concepts. Much lighter. So that's kind of the things behind it. So the axle holders are from JER. These are for the LMT. They work awesome. I've got this one sitting on it. It gets it just enough off the ground, but not so high that it won't fit into any of my shelves anymore, which is awesome. Look at how nice that front end looks, all mangled up there like that. And he's got different colors of these as well. You can get it onto both of them there. You can see it's got a little bit of clearance. I don't think I'm all the way on that one. There it goes. Now I'm on it. So you get just enough clearance to put your fingers under it, but that's great for me because it means if I'm putting it up on my shelves, you don't want the wheels to be high because then it won't fit back there on the shelves. So it's actually a really great size stand that he's got developed here. So that's something that he is selling. And I also like that it's snug enough that they don't just fall off like when I'm trying to move stuff around. I would rather just have it a little bit snug and pull them off myself. I'm going to take this off of here. Actually, we'll show one more thing. I had this up here to show the blue axle braces. You can see them in there. Those are his blue ones. We're going to test those hopefully tomorrow. I was working on the new track layout tonight, so I'd have something to bash that on because I had kind of destroyed the yard this weekend running the tractor through it. I will point out that it's not just those. These are for AR60s that he's offering, And then my clodbuster back there is sitting on his new retro ones that fit perfectly on the clodbuster axles. So, and I didn't mention these, but links. He's got his new HD links. These are massive, not links, sway bars. Massive sway bars in here, and using big. I think these are 4mm X heads, 3mm. They're big to make sure that it really bites on there and doesn't slip. Because we all know that sway bars tend to like to slip. Nice big flat spot as well on the bar itself. So these are his new HD version of them, which are nice. So what we want to look at though, beyond all of this, is what I got in the mail today from Treel, which I'm going to put back onto one of these. Actually, they sit really well on this AR60 axle. These are a little bit different shape than the stock SMT ones, as far as how they groove things. So, it's very close though in design. But I think that these AR60 ones might actually space that better. And these still sit on there pretty good. They're not going anywhere. And when you have the ends on, then it'll really hold it and lock it in place. But they're a little bit thicker than the stock ones, which sit in here all the way down, as you can see. So these were built for the stock ones. Nice snug fit on there. It'll hold it in place for you. All right. So I'm going to put this on the AR60 one because it does sit so well on here. And we'll talk a little bit about the Treel axles themselves. So there's two different options. There's a front and a rear. Right now I have the rear one up. The front one is still in the bag for the unboxing to show everybody exactly how they come packaged. They're double packaged. So inside of the bag, the axle's in a bag, and the other parts are also in bags inside of the main bag, which is nice. Each one individually done. These are going to be the 3°, I believe, or maybe 5°. I think it's 3. Have to look. I'm not online right now. I'm on here. So they do have a little bit of toe to them, so that it'll track a little better for freestyle and all of that for the rears. It does come included with the bearings. They use a little bit bigger bearing, they said, and you get your hardware for screwing them in, which also look like they're 2mm instead of the 1.5s. Maybe heads. I should check this. We're here. Let's open one up. Maybe Raquel can tell me. Raquel says 5°. Thank you. So they're very well built. Yeah, JER saying 5°. I'm trying to get a look at this. These look to me to be 2mm hexes. Let me grab one of my wrenches. They're all on the different side of the table. I do have my portable one that I can just pull out of here. It's my 2. Yes, it's 2mm. Thank you for that. The 1.5's stripped out on me. 2's nice. Thank you for that, Treel. So these hexes are, in fact, for this side, going to be 2mm hexes. And so with these, you just got to be careful to make sure that your toe is going the right direction on here to toe in. So from the rear, you're going to want your Treel showing on this side and Treel showing on this side. like so. What do you think, Mr. Kitty? But you can see what we didn't do is we didn't show you just how well these are machined. So this is billet 7075 aluminum. So it's basically carved out of a piece of aluminum. And they open this up, and this is another piece that's billet. So it's only a two-piece design for the main part of this axle. The bolts are going to be 2.5. Go ahead and undo them and show you the inside of this and how it's all machined out. This is something I haven't actually seen yet, so I'm excited to see this as well. I know that Raquel says she has hers done. Chris, I don't know when Freestyle will have more. Gandalf does want some airtime. Hey, buddy. How's it going? Oh, he says no. You're wrong. No, you're just going to chill out, flip your tail around. Hey. There you go. Show him your eyes. You got nice looking eyes. Come here. Nah. He's having none of it. NCSCS says, please show me another RTR single axle monster truck that's better or even close. I love mine. That's awesome, man. Kevin Mendez, you mentioned earlier, and I didn't get to it, it's way at the beginning. You said your wheelie bar broke under normal use. How aftermarket Claude wheelie bars to fit. See, I don't do a whole lot of wheelies with mine. Maybe that's it. Were you doing a lot of wheelies with it? And you definitely want to do some... He's saying your lights broke out. Mine broke out too. All right. So that is the inside, oh, whoops, of this casing. It's really nicely machined. Brighten it up a little here. I have to go to manual focus for this. It's saying no thank you. There you go. Now you can really see the detail. A little bit of the etching. How fine it is. Clinking on my ring. I do know that this is going to get really marred up. I can already see some of the wear in the anodizing from even in shipping, but that's all right. They're just going to get beat hard. So I will probably, not against Trial, but I will probably black this out with a Sharpie or something, just to make it all black. But very, very well made, in my opinion. Here's the other housing piece. Man, focus is just atrocious. But again, looks very nice. It's super light. The pieces are so light, fit together really well. It just looks really good in my opinion. They've been good. So it should actually slap together quite easy to take apart the other ones, put these on. I mean, I've been breaking them down pretty much this far to do the axle braces, but you can see these are solid. They're not screwed in, so you're not going to have that break point. There's not that line across here. The only opening point is to get your diff in and out. That's all you need. Bearings go in here. And in here. Pretty slick. So I did buy, for the front, I did buy the zero toe as well, 0 degree, but I actually bought this for doing the rear steer. So I'd have the front still with the 5 degree for turning reasons. But in the rear, I would do a 0 degree turn if I wanted to do forced steer with this at a later point. So I have that option here. And once Crawford gets his stock in, I'll probably buy another 5 degree of this, and I'll probably buy a 0 degree of the rears as well, and just mess around with the different options that there are for them. Let me get to your comments though. Put this back on here so you guys can look at that housing. How did I have it on here? Oh, I guess I had it this way, the way it should be. So then trio would be here and here. Go. All right, 6 bills. Yeah, Chuck is. JMRC says I'm a cat. Cat wants to sleep. He does. That's all he does. Shen says I will probably break it. You know, I won't say no. Here's the big bearing for it. And the rest of the parts. Okay, good. Still not seeing any. Still not seeing any 1.5 millimeters. So I'm happy about that. So I don't plan to do rear steer right away with it. I'm going to run it normal like it is out of the box, but with these metal axles, because I've been having so much fun with the backflips, the moonwalks. I will probably eventually take this one to 4 steer and still try to do all of that with it. It will run dual reef raws when I do that, just for the power and the beating that it's going to take. But moving those big wheels around, I will want that. So yeah, these things with these cases on, with nothing in them, with just the central piece of the axle is like 6.4 ounces. What is it with the rest of these pieces on here? So it's 8 ounces, and that's without the screws in. But if you take off the side pieces, it's, yeah, 6.5. I think it was 6.7 with the screws in, which are right here. So 6.67, 6.7. So yeah, that's what I had with 6.7 earlier when I took the picture. That's for that main part of the axle, and then it changes based on the other parts you put in. That's why I just did this main. But this part is surprisingly lightweight. Tom Andrews says, impressive machining. Hey, Chuck Chafin, what's going on? Anyone know who has a servo saver option for the stock, in stock for the truck? I don't mind the stock servo saver. I've been running my LMT completely bone stock, my son of a digger, and it's been pretty good. Raquel says the bearings are a tight fit, had to pound them in. Interesting. Okay. JER is also going to be selling these axles. That's awesome to hear. So he'll have stock of them coming, he says. Shen RC, the LMT turns really sharp. My Kyosho Fox don't turn, yeah, nowhere as much as the LMT. That is true. And that's partly due to those, the tire and the way that they sit on that axle, but just also how it's built in order to turn. It's pretty cool. That's something else Claude Busted talked about. See you, Kevin Gibbs. Brandon Singleton says 600 is too much. The only reason I disagree with that is it has 8 scale differentials, metal gears, cush drive, metal. These metal links are massive that come on it. It's got metal side plate chassis, monster truck wheels this size alone. If you buy the aftermarket, $120. The brushless system in it to buy it aftermarket with the motor and the ESC is $180. So that's almost $400 for the wheels and your electronics. Then you add in a controller, receiver, metal links. These metal links would be about $70 to buy. The 4-link system. The diffs are like $50 each, so that's $200 ish. Well, no, it's 2 axles, so that's $100. So I think it's priced right. Then you do a body and a cage. You know, just based on, these aren't built like the open tub style trucks. These are a whole lot more complex in the build than a Arma Granite or any of those, honestly. So that's where the cost is. Blue Dooley, put the bearings in the freezer, keep the axle housing warm. All right. Trash Can Ninja with Horizon. Let me jump back, guys, to the other view and other mic where I can highlight comments too. I'm back. All right, now I can highlight some of these comments that are coming in. All right. 400 for the roller is a great deal. It is, and the RTR is even better deal because of the body, the lights, receiver, controller, electronics. I mean, you can't buy all that stuff for $200. Just your ESC and your motor are $180 usually for something this size. All right, Raquel is asking, could this work for those who want to change the servo? I missed it. Oh, Trash Can Ninja, with Horizon jumping on the Spectrum Electronics, can they at least go to a 25 servo spline? You know, they've been in it for so long with the plane guys, I think they'd throw a fit. That they've all been running that 23. You know, I don't get it why some are 23, some are 24, some are 25. And I don't get the benefit of it either. It gives you more precision when you're putting it on, I guess, but it seems like 23 tooth would actually be because each of the teeth are bigger. So I don't know. It'd be like running 32 pitch instead of 48 pitch, I would think. I can tell you one thing, I haven't stripped any of those. Most servo savers, so if you buy the one that everybody gets, the Kimbrough ones, you can put any, it comes with 23, 24, 25 inserts that go into them as the servo saver. Brandon Singleton is about the pricing. Losi LMT, think about you can get an Arma Outcast 6S. Yeah, but it's not all about speed. If you want scale, this is a scale monster truck. And 35 miles an hour is crazy with solid axles. It's a completely different ball game. We want scale. We want to be doing scale stuff with it. We want real monster truck experience in a small package. And the scaleness of it, making the truck sit taller, Like, there's nothing in real life that looks like the Outcast, right? It's just a toy. Ours are a toy, but they're modeled after something that's more realistic. And, you know, that's what people are paying for. They want that realism, and that costs in order to do that. And you sacrifice, because you hit something with a solid axle at 54 miles an hour, axles break. It doesn't have the flexibility of independent suspension. Yeah, it's a plastic one. I've got one on... Which truck has the Kimbra on it? Oh, I see. My Ice Monster has it on it. Here, we'll show you what it is. Why I'm being silly. And if you guys are looking for those axles from CPE, and I do have links to those in the description. All right, here we go. Should have done this. Here's the Servo Saver. They're like $7 to get the heavy duty ones. $8. 23, 24, 25 spline. And yes, they're just plastic, but this is the part that you want to break, is this thing, not your servo. So where's that on like a main? Here it is, $8. So you just insert these in, and it's got the Servo Saver wrapped up in there. So when it hits, people have been running these for a long time. This hot racing one is built just like it. And it also has 23, 24, 25 spline in it. This is another one we see everybody racing with in the monster truck stuff. So that's another option. If you want a metal one that looks sweet, hot racing. Hopefully that helps, Chris. Deontay, replacement parts are expensive. Axle parts are, and that's because they're 8 scale. The bigger the scale, the more expensive they get. So the axles are expensive. Solid axles are, you know, same thing. They're a little bit more expensive than the AR60 axle. I'm not sure why, when those are formed the way they are versus the different pieces. So I'm not sure why it costs more to get the axle than maybe because there's more pieces. I don't know, but that does, I do question that a little bit, but I don't have to pay for tooling and all of that either. So I've been running the Kimbra ones for a long time, and they work great. I only switched up from them to do the freestyle ones. I like the way that they allow me to do a straight horn and easier to screw into and all that. Boom, there you go. He says he actually has one of the HR Servo Savers sitting around. Hopefully you still have those little plastic inserts. And it still allows you to run with that Servo Saver, or the steering setup stock the way it is, where I had to change mine up. What metal servo horn do you recommend to go with the raw 500 servo? Why not go with the one from Reefs? I don't think theirs are super long. I'm trying to look here. All the Reef stuff is so nice looking. That one's super long. Those are throttle ones. Yeah, these. That's a little long. But the stock one is pretty long, honestly. You might have to grind off that last hole. But I doubt it. It's a pretty good space you got there before you'll hit anything. But you could just go with one of theirs. And they've got the nice side, like large sized side clamp instead of the 1.5s again. So that's something I'd look at. I'm running, I don't know what I'm running on my Reefs one. I just got that truck back that it was on, so. What's going on, Bryce? Still here. Very cool, man. Riley Ward, that's a great question. I like this question a lot. Now that the LMT is out, would you still recommend the SMT10? Yes. Yes, I would. Not everybody's been in the game. Not everybody's ready for the power and the speed that is the LMT. Out of the box, brake. You know, if it's a kid just getting into it, learning the steering, it's just coming back to you. There's a lot of things that the new SMT10 is good for with that 12-turn motor, and that it's fast enough that it's faster than what you get at Walmart. The price is low enough that it's not crazy expensive. Like, you know, you may not want to be spending $600 on an RC car for a 10-year-old, right? So if you're not racing or if you're not really that into it, I would start my kids on an SMT10. I'd leave it stock, but I'd put in axle braces because they're going to hit stuff. I'd leave it 2.2. In fact, all of my SMT10s are back to 2.2 wheels and tires. And I've actually got some here we can show. If you wanted to do aftermarket wheels and tires, there are options. G Concepts has their Midwest wheels, and these are actually running the deep treads of their Fling Kings here. I almost said King Slings, but the Fling King. And so these are a really nice option if you want to kind of do like a mud or really want something high bite in sand or whatever. Or these are their 2.2 Renegades, which are a really great tire. We race these all the time, especially in the 2.6 class. And so I was running these on my 2.6s, but as I bring those trucks down now so they don't have all the drivetrain issues to 2.2, there's less weight, less mass. It's just easier on the internals of those axles because really those AR60s are small axles and the internals and diffs and stuff are really small. So I think it's just better suited for 2.2. I mean, we wanted big trucks, you know, Cloudbusters are big and it just looked cool, but I actually like the SMT10s and the handling of them better on a 2.2. We also run the munitions on some of ours. But yeah, I still recommend it totally. I love the cage on it. I think they're great, fun trucks. SMT10 or ground pounder? SMT10. '72 Chief Ruse. Amazing trucks. Videos don't do justice. I agree. Curtis D. Right now, you can't get them anywhere. They're from Freecell RC. They're sold out. Normally, you'd go on their site and right over here, there's the Servo Saver thing, and you can buy them for $45. It's an expensive Servo Saver, so like that hot racing one looks pretty hot at $13 for a nice metal Servo Saver. I just always liked how these worked. The big hits that I take and I give, they just work really good for me. Haven't busted a servo since I put them on, and that says a lot. So, yeah. You could get away without running them. You can run the hot racing ones or the Kimbrough ones. There's options out there. So back to Raquel, SMT10 or ground pounder, SMT10. And I agree with Trash Can Ninja. I would even take the Clodbuster over a ground pounder. Clodbusters can be wicked fast, and the amount of stuff you can do to them is insane. I like mine as retros, and I've gone and did a thing here. I should probably have opened it to verify that that thing I did was done right before I can't claim issue with it. So we're going to open it live here as kind of my proof in case something is not right. Still packaged. With all of the regulator axle parts. There's a whole mess of things in here. The print that Shapeways does is pretty amazing. But I'm not going to lie. For stock printer at your home printing stuff, the stuff that JER does is pretty amazing 3D printing. I could never get my 3D printers to print as good as his are, and as tight and clean as his lines and everything are. So I'm very impressed. So I'm going to have to go over this sheet and make sure everything's there. I'm going to do that after the show. Those are not cheap axles. And those kind of expenses are no longer going to be happening here for a little while. Or those ones. That's my roller, and that's my son of a digger, and the grave digger is still in the box in the garage. I kind of went crazy when it all came out. I kind of felt like I was part of the thing that happened, having made the video for Losi, and kind of was like, you know, we trashed the ones that, you know, I had after the video shoot, and I kind of felt like I wanted to get the new ones when everybody else did. I did. Oh, White Knight. He's throwing down. He's looking for a fight. He says, I would take a Clod over the LM. Chuck Iffen says, Clod all day. Bryce, do I have any fast RC cars? I have the Typhon Success, which is wicked fast. And that's running the MCI chassis. Or M2C, not MCI, M2C chassis. And I have the Infraction and the Felony. Those are my fastest. And I have a Traxxas / drag car. See, this is where I disagree with Jason. And I like a lot of what he's doing. And don't take this personal. I don't like Pro Mod style Clods. I guess I maybe haven't driven one that's set up right. But I like the shafties, which is why I love my Freestyle Pro Cs. Never driven anything like those, and they're amazing. JO Clouds are always fun. They are. And so I've got a regulator coming, just like the one that I built, that I have on loan from J Concepts. I'm going to build that truck. Maybe minus his shocks. His shocks are probably expensive. They're team associated, and they're probably built from parts. Where can you buy some axle braces for the SMT10? There's a ton of them. Just look up AR60. Beef Tubes makes them. There's all kinds of people that make them. Logan Perez, so what does the RC come with so I don't buy two things on accident? If you buy the Gravedigger or the Son of a Digger, it comes with everything that you need to run it on the box except for a battery. You have to get a battery and a charger. See, here we go. R2 Chief Ruse. Now, I totally agree with you on this, and I feel the exact same way because I was getting into a rut And I was kind of bored with RC. But the LMT got me excited about it again. And he says he ran it in the snow today, but can't wait to get it until I get it on dirt. But he said the LMT got me excited about RC again. And I agree with that. I wasn't, when I got mine, when we did the Losi video, and funny thing is I didn't even get to run them the first day. We did the whole video shot, all this stuff. I had to go run an errand to get something from Hobbytown. So I had to bust butt down to get it so that we'd have it for day 2. And then I didn't get to run it. So I ran it the next day when we were setting up and Ryan was building the jumps, the little freestyle track. I got to run it in the gravel a little bit. And then at the end, ran it and did the front flip. That's at the end of the video. So awesome stuff. Is fun. But it got me so excited there just running it that last bit with Adam Anderson, and just, man, we were hyped. We were done with the video and we were going nuts with him. Kevin Hitmansky, and just seeing what they could do, and was just blown away. And I just didn't stop driving it. In fact, I went up and raced in Connecticut, and I thought at that time they were going to be released. They were supposed to be released earlier, but there was stuff that pushed them back. And I thought I was going to be able to race it there. Turns out I couldn't. And then I was like, oh no, none of my trucks are ready to race in Connecticut. And so I kind of just took what I could and tried to fix it while I was there, and was wrenching when I got there. So a lot of late nights and early mornings wrenching. But it got me excited. It's all I wanted to drive. And then I drove my Pro C again, and it was amazing. And it just made me love that again, and the retros and everything. And then driving Jason Rona's retro here, it's like, oh my gosh, these things are amazing, these regulators. And so, like, I'm all in on the monster truck stuff again. Deontay, what's the orange monster truck you made a video on not long ago? I think that's my Storm Damage or my Megalodon, but I think it's the Storm Damage, which is the Freestyle Pro C. And that's what I'd done in the little freestyle competition that was on Instagram with RC Amigos. Logan, yes, battery and charger are sold separately for most RC cars. Boo this man. What are you talking about, Chris? All right, Jason, man. We'll catch you later. I'll be bashing those races tomorrow. Hopefully the track will be ready. YSU Printmaking says, I agree, the excitement is there with quite a few of the new releases that have come out recently. Yeah, lots of cool stuff. That's a good question. Will the Andersons be doing any signed versions of these again for charity again? That would be a good question. I think they could. Build a Claude like Josh Rhodes, Riley Ward. Yeah, his always runs so good, but he always destroys them. And I've worked on enough Claudes. I wouldn't want to fix as many as he has to at the end of a race weekend. For Endo Games wants me to answer. I missed it. Whatever the question was. Deontay Heap says he needs one signed. Just send it down, man. They sign stuff. You can literally just in the body, they'd sign it and ship it back. So Chief Roo says you had to cut a slot in the battery tray to fit the Spectrum Smart battery. What smart battery are you running? I run the Spectrum Smart batteries in mine and have no problem, but I'm only running 3S 5 milliamp hours. Oh, the Cloud Buster over LMT guy. I gotcha. Good night, Bryce. Thanks for tuning in, man. This weekend I'm going to be doing RCs, probably working with my tractor. Work on the track more. Work on the backyard. Bulldog says he uses a Kim 124 servo saver. There you go. Yeah, Logan. They make an entry level. I can show you here. To smart system. If you were to go to I don't know, AMain, we'll go there, and say smart charger. They make a pretty inexpensive 50 watt here that you can get, that you just really plug into. If you get the smart system, smart batteries, it makes it very easy to charge it. It doesn't have a whole lot of settings. You just use this button, but it's a $30 LiPo charger that does a pretty good job. So you can get a lot done with it. It's a great like entry level get into it type of a charger. With that, you need to get a adapter to the IC5. But if you go to a hobby shop, they can really help you with that. Here's one. Maybe it does have the IC5. They're selling it as a bundle here for $100. The 3S with the charger. So those are kind of entry level, get you into it. And they work good. If you're Indo Games, man, don't get angry that I'm missing. Sorry, it's just quick. And as I'm talking, where can I buy the spring? I've answered this several times. Where can I buy the SMT10 servo saver spring that is not on back order? Oh, the actual spring for that. So I would just buy a different one. I would buy, I just showed it a second ago, the Hot Racing servo saver. This one right here. I know a lot of guys that run this one. It's got one review on here. It's a bad review. I wouldn't believe that. They've, I know several people that run these on the monster trucks. The other option is this large spring Kimbra one. It's the KIM 124. Lots of people run these. And it's basically that same idea as the SMT10 one. Sorry I missed that question earlier. If that's the one that I missed. Brett Ludwig, I think the new 1RC late model is awesome. In fact, I was just commenting on a guy's. I'm going to show it to you because I was just there. That's the 18th scale one, right? So it's a little bit bigger. But I just commented on one of these. Trying to find it before I jump there. Here it is. I got it. Boom. So he has this cool track. Let's go back to this discussion group here and see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. It's got a video. I'm not going to show the video because that can get me into trouble with copyright stuff. But you can see this track he built in his backyard for him. And it got me thinking, I've got a tractor. All I need is a little piece of ground. I can flatten it out, put some boards around it to put a tarp over and keep it dry. And that'd be fun. I don't have the late model, but I have the sprint cars. Oh, no, I have the midgets. Oh, yes. There are those ones that have the wires that come out the side. And that's problematic when you build cases like they are that don't have gaps. So, yeah, you'd have to either use a soldering iron and melt a little divot or Dremel it out. Or just flip the battery upright and put padding on the side, strap it down. But with that strap, it wouldn't work because it's going a long ways. So, yeah, that's interesting. Yes, Chris Watson, I read your comment about the tractor. It can be used also to make some side money. I'm hoping to be able to do that. It's really fun. I mean, I sit at a computer like this. In fact, I sit in this seat at this computer for my whole work day and then for all of the YouTube video and stuff that I do. It's just a long time. So actually, Trash Can Ninja them are talking about that 1/18th scale. So I'll pull it up here for people that don't know what 1RC is. And I bought one of theirs a year and a half ago or something when they came out with the sprint car. I like to pre-lift before I get there. So here's the new 18th scale late model. This is what I have as one of these midgets. I like the sprint cars too, but with my boys, I thought we'll be crashing and all that. I think we did the midget. Pretty sure we did the midgets. But I do like this late model. I thought they made a bigger late model. But they're nice. If you're into that kind of thing. They're funky cars, but they're made to go left fast. So the big problem I have, Chris Watson, with the tractor making good side money is it's a heavy tractor, even being a small one. And my Jeep only tows 3,500 pounds. So I think the tractor's at least probably 2,500. So to get a trailer that can then carry it, you're looking at another 1,500 pounds. That'd probably be over the spring rating of the Jeep. Maybe an aluminum trailer and I could be like right at the edge, but that's kind of what I'm worrying about. Cody, how long before I order the RBX10? I don't need to order the RBX10. I won with my custom one last time. I'm just going to keep it. My Wraith-inspired rock bouncer. I need to get it. It's over at Jeremy's house. He's going to fix it for me. I bought a bunch of bearings that I have to get to him, though. Chris is saying time to buy a cheap pickup, just a work truck. Plus, it can carry more RCs. Probably not than my minivan, though. My minivan carries quite a bit of RCs. And can probably tow as much as my Jeep. Hey, Bucks RC World. How is your LMT going, man? What's your experience been? So, Cody, I honestly don't think I'm going to get the RBX10. I like everything I've seen about it, especially that orange. The orange one is nice. But I got that green one at the metal chassis, metal boom racing axles. Don't think I need it. Yeah, I saw the bumpers for the Son of a Digger. It'll definitely help. I don't like the look of it. It's a trade-off, right? Either you bust off the whole front grille and look like mine does in a mangled mess, or you get the the front wheelie bar basically for it, bumper. How many 110 scale monster trucks do you have? What constitutes as 1/10 scale? And does that include like the Stampedes? I have the Gravedigger Stampede, the Son of a Digger Stampede, 30th anniversary Stampede. So if you count those, 1, 2, probably 30-ish. I've never tried to count them before, but a lot. There's a lot. Not including the ones I'm working on building. So, too many. Bucks RC World. Oh, you've ripped it on black ice. Well, I'm glad it was that truck instead of your real car. Gerald Losi has only got to drive it for 3 minutes. Anyone else have a problem? I've driven mine for months, and I broke axle, had to buy a new one. But I had it for a month and a half before the guys came over. I never had any issues except for the sway bar came out and I had to Loctite it in. I actually like the Gravedigger almost better for this. I kind of like my other Son of a Diggers better that I have. They're narrower. Yes, Kingpins are back in stock, Curtis D. I did see whoever was saying about the Oval RC. I have watched the mud racing that they do in Florida, right? I've seen some of his stuff for sure. It's Brett that's asking, Brett Ludwig. Yeah, he's got a good channel. Mopar Muscle, when is the event at Digger's Dungeon? It is always on Memorial Day weekend. So, I don't know if it'll be this year or not because of COVID again. It got canceled last year. It'd stink for it to be canceled 2 years in a row. But we'll have to wait and see. Oh, you're saying the bumper looks good on. I see, Son of a Digger. Yeah. Gerald Lowe, the front diff went? Yeah, that's not common at all. These diffs have been indestructible for me. That's crazy. Okay, yeah, I'm at PA in Ohio. I think you're right, JMRC. Yeah, I think he's in Pennsylvania. 72 Shifus. I have thought about Shugu for the Kingpins. Open Shugu when I was working on it the other night on live was downstairs, so I just used other super glue. I wanted to use Shugu though. Okay, cool. I'll have to check it out, Buck. Wade. So yeah, I mean, it's been a really reliable truck for me. When I started breaking axles, though. I think the weather was getting colder, and I think that it's because I got some of the pre-production part they sent me as like here. We don't have any more axles. We have these pre-production ones. After we had that like big bash going on. So I think that was where they were kind of like, well, here's what we can do. But it's all good. Anyway, we got more action coming with it. I've got 2 new ones now, and I've got the one that I plan to build in kind of a more race truck. I might even move the shocks off the axles, put them on the trailing arms, change that up a little bit, see how it handles that way. I want to try the J Concepts on here finally and see. I'm trying to mainly get that pull that I get to the right out of whatever that is, wherever I have some of that slop that's making it want to drift. So maybe I'll try a servo horn direct, no servo saver. But I think maybe with the tires too, if they're not aligned, I keep seeing people talking about the wheels and they're not balanced and all of these things. And on any RTR, you're not usually going to get very well balanced wheels. That's just the nature of the beast. Most of the time, I don't even bother trying to balance my monster truck wheels anyway. They're just kind of big and clumpy and clunky. And but I'm wondering if that might be some of that pull that I'm getting. It's just some of that wheel wobble not being trued right. And so I do want to try some different tires on different wheels and see if that'll straighten the truck up more. It could be anything, really. And I just have to figure out what it is to get rid of that. What's going on, RC Basher boy? That's awesome, Buck. Lo Perez, is it true that one of the RC cars got smushed in the video? Yes. And that vehicle is in Kevin Hetmansky's Hetmansky Hobbies in Georgia on display. He was one of the people who helped with the design and all of that. Losi kind of started with a lot of the work that Kevin had put into building his own custom stuff over the years. And they kind of used that as like a platform to jump off of and springboard into making the LMT. And so it's only fitting that he has it at his hobby shop that he owns and has just started up. Oh, that's the other one I'm thinking of. General Hobbies. They had another All Out RC, Orlando RC Park. That's the other one that I was thinking of. Sorry, I'm noticing my getting hoarse here. Need a little water. Anyway, Big America's in the house. What's up, man? If you guys haven't seen his stuff over on Instagram, his new logo is, first of all, wicked. But some of the most cool scale RC stuff. And he's got big plans for his LMT. And I'm sure he'll do it right. He always does. His custom titanium tube chassis is awesome. Love to have one of those. I wish that I hadn't told the guy that built my custom chassis that I didn't need the tabs up front for putting shocks on axle. I don't know why I didn't. So now I'm regretting it. And it'd be a pain to get it stripped and then weld new stuff on and then uh have it painted or whatever it was. Blue Dooley says Chris Watson torque steer even if the chassis doesn't torque twist. The twist rotation of the driveline and axles will make it pull one way. Yeah, it's definitely different than the SMT10, which lifts and twists and pulls, and this is very flat and just kind of scoots a little. Makes it a little bit hard to line stuff up, but it's again we're trying to pull more power through it than we're doing in any of our other stuff. Alrighty, we've been going for 2 hours. I'll have to go over and subscribe to Big America on YouTube now. That's awesome. And hopefully we'll be seeing some of his stuff over here. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and check out of here. Thanks for tuning in. I'm really excited about the LMT. I think it's a step in the right direction for a ready-to-run, solid axle monster truck. Is it perfect? No. Are they working out the kinks? Yes. They're trying to make it just better. You know, even from the stuff that we've been doing and, you know, they've been watching and they've been listening and they're seeing what's going on. They're trying to make adjustments on the fly even. That's one of the cool things we've been seeing from Horizon recently, especially with Arma. They're listening, they're making adjustments, they're making fixes, and they're working those into like versions of it. Instead of having one spin out forever and changing bodies and whatever, they're making small tweaks to things. So, you know, maybe something will be the axle we'll see in the future, getting a little bit more bracing put in it and stuff like that. We don't know. But I can definitely tell you they're watching what we're doing with these. So they're watching what's happening. They're taking it all in, and they want to make a great product. I mean, nobody wants to make a bummer product, and so they've made something that I think is a great product. I definitely am abusing it more than it should be, and that's okay. It's what I'm totally fine with things breaking and fixing them, and it being my fault. I don't necessarily blame the truck for it. I blame a lot of other factors that lead to it. But overall, I think there is a little flex in the axle. We see it with some of the cracks in the corners, the different pieces. The 3-piece design, I wish it was a 2-piece design for the main part and then the different stubs on the, you know, so it ends up being like 4 or 5 part because of the ends and whatever the diff. But I wish that main section of it only had the one piece in the middle, like the treel that comes apart. I don't see a need for the sides to have come apart other than the way that the molding was done. And I don't know. It seems like it would have been stronger if that was all one piece with just that plastic insert for the diff. But I don't know what that means for tooling, for making and all of that, and what the limitations and all of that there were, and trying to get it into price points that we would pay for a truck too, you know, so there's all of that that's involved. But overall, I mean, axles as they are, you know, I didn't even realize the first 2 months that there could be an axle break, the way that we were beating it up and it wasn't breaking, where I would have broken multiple AR60s. You know, I'm pretty behind it. Like I said, I've bought them now. I've got one of each is what I bought. So I don't plan to beat these up like I did my original ones, but they're going to be raced and they're still going to be driven hard. They're just not going to be the workhorse testing durability bashers that I've made out of the other two. So hopefully these ones will stay intact a little better. I'll go ahead and shoe glue them, take more time before I actually run them for the first time, go through them, do all the things I've been telling everybody else about, protecting the wires, making sure the grub screws have Loctite on it and all of that. So the little small things that make for a little bit of a headache when you drive it or have to repair it, do it right away, get it fixed up before I go out. So anyway, glad to see they're in people's hands. Love seeing what people are doing with them. And, you know, hopefully it just pushes this element of the hobby even further forward. We'll see more bodies, all that kind of stuff. If there's like a resurgence of monster trucks and people just all get in on it. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, have fun RCing, and we will catch you in the next video. Hit that thumbs up on the way out, guys, if you like what's going on here.